Hello guys, welcome to another Movie Matthew video where today I am ranking my top 10 favourite superhero films. Such a good genre, a genre loved by so many. It's blown up recently in the last 10 years in particular. I'm just going to run you through my favourite 10 and some honourable mentions I'm going to kickstart this video with. So yeah, let's just jump straight into them. First honourable mention is Wonder Woman. A very surprising film. I had no expectation going into it and came out very satisfied. It was a great character study of Wonder Woman, and the setting during World War II is great. The characters in this movie are great. Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman is perfect casting. Chris Pine, the whole cast is great in this film. It's a great film and it's entertaining from start to finish. Great action, great scenes, great character development. I liked it a lot. The next one is Infinity War, which I bet a lot of people expected to be in my top 10. I still love it though, that's why it's an honourable mention. It's a great film. A great villain was introduced in Thanos. He was great. The dialogue is always witty and funny as always. The stakes for our superheroes, the odds they had to face in this one is huge. You know, it's a huge test for them, and I like it when they really are tested to the very limit. It's got a huge twist in this that you just simply didn't expect. You know, a typical superhero film, you expect the superhero to just win, but in this one they don't, which is why it is, in my opinion, better than Endgame and better than a lot of Avengers films. X-Men Days of Future Past, it's one of those where it's one of the very few X-Men films that are actually good. It's got some unbelievable sequences, some of my favourite in the entire list. The Quicksilver kitchen scene in particular, what a scene, and it's just a great film. Deadpool, the unexpected blockbuster hit. The R rating makes this movie that much better. It really helps Deadpool's character properly come out. It's funny, it's a great return to form for Ryan Reynolds, it's entertaining, great action, bloody gory, it's brilliant. I love Deadpool. Iron Man. We have a lot to thank this movie for. Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, it kickstarting the MCU, it really blowing up the superhero genre. This film is a classic and will forever be remembered as that film that really started it all. It's a classic. Guys, now we're going to do my top 10. There's a lot of honourable mentions that you might have thought could have been in this list, and there could have well been. I do love all them honourable mentions, but I just like these 10 more. And the first one is The Incredibles. I think this is one of Pixar's very best, and Pixar, as we all know, are amazing. I think it is their take on the superhero genre is so good, and it's just as good as you would expect Pixar superhero film to be, so it's obviously going to be good. The animation is great. It really came out when superhero movies weren't really making too much noise. I love the family aspect of all the family having superpowers, and all the powers are creative and original, and I like them a lot. All the characters are very likeable in this film. The villain is very good. Syndrome is a great villain in this, which makes a superhero film that much better. You know, a villain is very important to me in superhero films. I think this is just an animated classic that you can just enjoy whenever you want. It's entertaining from start to finish. It's just a great film that I thoroughly enjoy watching. Captain America, The Winter Soldier. This is the best Captain America film, and out of all the Avengers and the whole of the MCU, Captain America is my favourite. I think Chris Evans is just perfect as Captain America, and I think he's a fantastic actor. I love him in all of his other projects. I think he's great, and this film is just brilliant. It's like more of an action film. You know, it's not too flashy, you know, there's not just superpowers flying about everywhere, you know. It is more of an action thriller, and it works so well. You know, I think the Winter Soldier is a great villain, you know, as he challenges Captain America mentally and physically, and I think there's just so many aspects to love about this film. I love Black Widow and Captain America teaming up in this film. They're having screen time together. I really enjoy them two together, and I think it's just an overall perfect superhero film that never lets up. It's entertaining from start to finish, has a great twist, and it just has everything I love about action movies and what I love about superhero films. I love Captain America. I just love the film. It's great. Big Hero 6. It's based off a Marvel comic. but Disney's take on a superhero film. It's another animated film, but I think this film deserves to be in the top 10 for Baymax alone. I think Baymax is absolutely amazing, so funny, so entertaining, and this is also one of the movies on the list that packs the biggest emotional punch. There's so much emotion that stems from this film. The ending is immensely satisfying. This whole film from start to finish is very entertaining. The soundtrack is great. Immortals by Fall Out Boy, what a song when that comes on, I absolutely love it. The powers that they all use are original. All the cast have this great bond and all have this same goal. The villain is great. The nanobots idea is original and creative. I just think Big Hero 6 is a great film with great characters, and like I say, Baymax is one of my favourite characters in this whole list. I just think he's so funny and entertaining. For Ragnarok, the movie I watched the most recently, I rewatched it again last night and it confirmed for me this definitely needs to be in my top 10. For pure entertainment purposes, rewatchability factor, it's very funny, one of the funniest on this list. Taika Waititi is such a good director, I'm a massive fan of his work, and I think this film is just brilliant. It's by far the best Thor film. I just think it's so entertaining. So many sequences that I absolutely love. I absolutely love the Hulk versus Thor sequence. What a scene that is. And I also absolutely love when Thor goes off at the end to the Immigrant Song. What a scene that is. I absolutely love it. The soundtrack to this is great. Everything is great about this film. It's entertaining, pure entertainment and humour and laughs and enjoyment, rewatchability. It has it all. Unbreakable. This is another one that came out before the superhero genre really took off. M. Night Shyamalan's, in my opinion, it's his best movie. I just think it's great. It's a lot more dialogue heavy than any other movie on this list, and nothing actiony really happens until the end. But when it does go off, it goes off. When they let go of the reins, it goes. When Bruce Willis starts to realise he actually might have superpowers, it's great. I think this is one of Samuel Jackson's very best performances. I absolutely love him in this film, and he's one of my favourite actors of all time. I think he's brilliant. This film just has it all for me. The dialogue is incredibly it has you glued to the screen. The dialogue is brilliant, and the ending of this film is unforgettable. It's one of my favourite endings out of this whole list. The ending for me actually there's a reason why this is in my top 10. I think it's a great ending that I didn't see coming at all. Unbreakable is a very good film. If you haven't seen it, please do. If you're into the superhero genre, you definitely should give it a go. It's a great film. Avengers. This movie took a huge risk because it brought all of our heroes that we love all together in one movie, and it works. This, in my opinion, is the best Avengers film, the very first one, and it has everything going for it. Joss Whedon's script in this film is just great. So many witty one-liners, memorable lines, effective lines that you don't forget. It actually contains the best villain, in my opinion, out of the whole MCU in Loki. I think he's an unbelievable villain. I think Marvel do struggle to have great villains, but Loki is definitely a great villain, and he's definitely one of the best, and in my opinion is the best. A lot of memorable scenes in this film, so many. Hulk is so good in this movie as well. I love him in this. It has basically everything going for it. The whole ending sequence, the whole last half an hour of this film is epic, and it's such a rewatchable, entertaining film. It's another film where you could just pop it in, watch it whenever, and you never get bored. I just love the Avengers so much, and yeah, it's just a great film. SpiderMan Into the Spider-Verse. This is not only one of my favourite superhero films, it's one of my favourite animated films. I think this film is gorgeous. The animation of this film is so fucking good, so creative. I absolutely loved how they made it like a comic book. It's just, it's beautiful, the animation of this film, and the colours just pop. It's just a spectacle is this film. So nice to watch. The concept is done so well. The Spider-Verse is done it's just handled so well. I don't think they can handle it any better. I think it's brilliant. I think the villain, Kingpin, is great. He has a great motivation as to why he's doing what he's doing, which is another great factor about a great villain. And I love great villains in movies, in superhero films. It adds to it so much, and then you start having a bit of character development with those villains. I love that too, which you get with Kingpin. Watching Miles grow into Spider-Man and struggling at first but constantly improving and growing and overcoming adversity, I love all the characters in this film. They're all very likeable. Everything about this film is amazing. Seriously, if you haven't seen this film, I'm sure you have, but if you haven't, it's a must watch. Who would have thought Sony would have made the best Spider-Man film? I can't believe it, but they have. Guardians of the Galaxy. I was not expecting anything from this film, and what I got in return was my favourite film in the whole of the MCU. I just love this film. The cast are just perfect in this film. Everyone casted for this film was brilliant. All the characters so likeable. The movie is so funny, the funniest in the MCU in my opinion. I think it's got everything going for it. Despite a villain that's lacking, not a very good villain, but apart from that, this film is just brilliant. I absolutely love how the characters are flawed. They're not your typical superhero. A lot of superheroes you watch are also perfect and can do whatever they want, but this crew of Guardians of the Galaxy are very flawed, and it's a lot more endearing when they're flawed like that, and I relate to them more because they do stuff wrong and they do have problems and issues and they do stupid stuff, but that's why I like them so much. It's such a great addition to the MCU. I'm so happy that they actually brought this comic to life, a comic that no one even really knew about, but it's worked so well in the end. This film is just brilliant, and what I love most about this film is it's got by far the best soundtrack on this entire list. The soundtrack of this film is unforgettable. It's so good. Every single song choice is entertaining, it's funny, it suits every single part of the film. The music is just perfect in this. The soundtrack is great. Everything about this film I do really enjoy. Guardians of the Galaxy is my favourite movie in the MCU, and it's a movie I can watch all day, every day. Entertainment through the roof. I love Guardians of the Galaxy. It's a great, great film. Like I've said at the end of every single one of these. Logan. This is another one I rewatched again recently. I think it's just such a good film. James Mangold is a director I'm a big fan of, and I think this is his best, which is saying a lot because I like a lot of his movies. It's just a perfect ending for Hugh Jackman's unbelievable run as Wolverine and Sir Patrick Stewart's unbelievable run as Professor X. The whole relationships in this film built, the storyline created, the drama is great. Not as much action, but when the action does happen, it's gory, it's bloody, and it's unforgiving. Just how I like it. These claws going straight through someone's skull, it's just brilliant. Every storyline taken is great. Everything about this film is great. Logan and the little girl, the relationship they build throughout the film is very great and endearing. I love everything about this film. The rating helped it so much. The swearing, the blood, the gore, it just added to it so much. I'm so happy they went with that. This movie is so creative. I absolutely love this film. Another scene I absolutely love, one of my favourite in the whole of this list, is the Wolverine forest scene. If you know, you know what a scene that is. And the ending is just perfect. It's a perfect movie, a perfect ending to Hugh Jackman's career as Wolverine. It's just a brilliant movie. I love Logan so much. Number one is one that everyone must have seen coming, The Dark Knight. This film for me is simply the best film on this list, and it's by quite a distance. I think this is one of the best films ever made, and I think it's definitely the best superhero film ever made. Every single person in this film is good. The casting of this is just ridiculous. Morgan Freeman, Michael Caine, Christian Bale, Gary Oldman, and of course, Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger's Joker in this film is one of, if not the best performance I've ever seen in my life. I think he is absolutely incredible in this film. I think anyone could ever top his Joker. It's just simply that good. This whole film for me is just perfect. Christopher Nolan, what a director he is, and he's done such a good job with this film. No Batman film will ever exceed this. I don't think any superhero film will ever exceed this. I think it just sits pretty at the top by quite a distance. I just think it's perfect in every single way. Christian Bale is also one of my favourite actors of all time, so him in the lead as Batman was incredible to see, and he's a great Batman. The sequences are good. I love the mental aspect that Joker brings. You know, it's not all just I'm the villain, I'm stronger than the superhero. You know, it's not all that. It's more of a mental battle, and he mentally tests Two-Face. He mentally tests Batman. He mentally tests the whole of Gotham. It's great to see, and the odds at stake are huge. Everything about this film is just great for me. The whole opening sequence is great, and right from the opening sequence right until the very end is brilliant. Goosebumps every time I watch this film. It just has it all for me. I just think it's the perfect superhero film. I also love the realism of this film. You know, it's not too CGI heavy. Lots of practical effects that make such a difference. And it's not all just flashy superhero effects. You know, CGI this, CGI that. You know, it feels very real as well. You know, it's not just who's got the best superhero powers, and you know, it's a lot more real. It feels like this could be happening, as dramatic and over the top it is. It does feel more realistic than many movies on this list. But overall, guys, I don't really need to say much more. We all know how good The Dark Knight is. But yeah, that is my list. I'd love to know your lists down below, and I'll reply to as many as I can if I get any comments, that is. But yeah, guys, please like, subscribe, do whatever you want. This has been the Movie Matthew channel. I'll see you next week on my next video.